Welcome back to Just Weirdly Blended 2.0.
I'm Tom.
I'm Jesse, and we're here with
I'm Mike.
Mike.
Mike, a long-time listener.
I
first
called
time
him
caller.
Matt a few times already. So, yeah. I don't know why. I went kayaking with this guy.
We survived.
We almost died together.
Band of brothers over here.
Dude, I got so sunburnt that day.
I didn't get sunburned, but my
I don't
wrist
know if I got
fucking hurts.
sunburnt, but my arms were sore, bro.
You had a sweet tan when I saw you out in the pool.
No, my stepdaughter was like, "Oh, you were wearing a tank top, weren't you?" I'm like, yeah, it was.
You see, I decided I didn't want to take off my shirt to just. You didn't have sunglasses. I didn't want to just blind you. So.
I didn't want to take my shirt off.
You're considerate, right? Yeah.
I didn't want to take my shirt off. I didn't want no one getting hot over my breast.
I don't want to be too sexy.
I don't want
out
to
there
be too
on the river.
sexy out there. Look at
Trying
them
to fight
Latino
against
boobs.
that fucking current.
Dude,
That was the
current
most insane current I've ever experienced
And it was
on the
just
river.
so lazy.
On the
at
way
first.
down,
The
right?
way-
No, for the first, I don't know how long we were out there, but like the first part, it's like,
Do you
this is
guys
not
remember
bad.
when
And
we
then
got to those pylons, those metal pylons? Do you
On the way
remember? Do you remember
Oh,
going past them?
I think that's when Jesse was
No,
picking
no,
up
being
the
so
garbage.
much flow.
There was a point where I'm trying to get a piece of garbage. It's the Microsoft. It was it was a Microsoft hamburger
He's
wrapper.
an Apple guy.
It was a McDonald's like hamburger
Okay.
wrapper, right? And I was like
recall
trying to
that.
get it out, and
But you couldn't
Mike
get
seen
it.
No, I couldn't get it. And I was like, God damn wrap. And then we're just coasting. I'm like, damn, this current. And I looked. I'm like, man. And I think said like this current's kind of like going pretty good.
It was easy.
And then on our way back, it was just the worst.
Could you imagine if we would have went past the bridge?
No,
Like,
they would have been over.
we
What do you mean? We'd
They
still
would've-
be on our way back.
They would have recovered me from Lake Wallula or whatever it's called. I would have been
You didn't
gone.
Walla Walla.
This
Someone would have called me.
I don't know. He went over the dam. We don't know. We don't know.
Jesse, I'm in I think I'm in Walla Walla or Tucci.
I'm a
touch it.
douchey.
I
I'm
mean,
a fucking
touch it.
douchey. Come on.
What is it? Touch it.
Douchey, right? Do we
Yeah.
touch it?
Yeah, touch it. Touch it. Washing.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, Touch It is a very.
Touch it. Very handsy, those people.
It's a very handsy. They love Trump. One. All I know is they love Trump because I see the signs.
All of them.
Right.
Trump 2024.
There's 7 people that live in this town, by the way. They own the gas station and I don't know what else.
Yeah, they're
I
the
think
number
that's
one
it.
Trump
Probably the
supporters.
gas. Yeah. But it's the smallest town I've ever seen.
It's amazing.
You drive through it in,
I
like,
think-
half
Didn't
a
they
second.
convert like a garage into a winery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
There's a couple wineries there, and one of the
Yeah.
wineries is actually a really good winery.
I'll bet.
La Cole or like something. I don't know. It's fucking fancy, but it's actually very expensive
I'll bet.
wine.
I'll bet.
But I think it's all way out. Like
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
literally one of those you blink and you might miss.
Oh,
the
yeah,
town.
for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. Because it's on your way to Walla Walla.
Yeah.
Which is in itself not a large city.
No.
But
Walla's
like
pretty
your
cool, though.
destination is Walla Walla. Tushi's just like not even a pit stop. If you can get through it without stopping, that's great.
You know what's cool is Walla Walla's kind of a cool little city.
Walla Walla is really cool.
There was an old
Yeah.
song. I don't know what punk band sang, but they mentioned Walla Walla.
Walla Walla has some really big historic fame to it. Yeah.
One of the shows I used to love watching was Arrow. As like Stephen Amell. He was Oliver Queen. You know, he was Arrow, the star of the show on CW.
Okay.
And he actually has a winery in Walla Walla.
Really?
I think it's like
It's like Knocking
What's-
Point Winery.
Drew Bledsoe, like the guy that Brady replaced. I think he has a wine.
Oh
I think
yeah.
you're right.
I can
Yeah.
believe it. I can believe it. He's from here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He went to Wazoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Drew
know,
Bled- I have a Drew Bledsoe poster somewhere. I swear to God.
do you guys remember the,
didn't like
the
him.
old school cartoons, Daffy Duck, when he'd be the salesman from Walla Walla, Washington?
Oh,
Remember that? Yeah. I mean, like it truly like Walla Walla was.
Is it the
known-
Onions?
It's got to be the
Yeah.
onions. I don't
The
I don't
sweet.
know what else comes from Walla Walla. Maybe
now. Wine.
Wine.
That's it.
Our whole
Wine.
area, like, is just
And criminals.
and criminals.
Yeah.
Wine criminals, biggest exports.
Hey, Walla Walla, it's not only very whiny, it has lots of wine.
People whine a
Our
lot
state
there.
penitentiary is in Walla Walla.
True. Actually, such a bad
My
penitentiary.
My stepdad was locked up in Walla Walla.
Really? What did
Yeah.
you have to say about it?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he liked it. I didn't care for
Those
the
are the
guy.
stories. Like
I don't know. I didn't care for the guy. He was a piece of shit.
I come back thinking. I think my uncle was like probably locked up in there at one
What
time.
if
I'm
your
sure-
stepdad and your
My
uncle
stepdad was there
worked
for
together?
like 15 years.
Man,
He was in there for
what if
years.
they tried to escape together?
So my mom would my mom would go visit him.
No.
So when I lived over like in the west side, so when I lived in Seattle, my mom would like want to go over there, and I remember like traveling through the Tri-Cities, and this is before I like lived here. I was like I think I was still in high school at the time.
Who the fuck would want to live here?
No, I just remember like okay, I want to say we stayed here at one point.
Yeah.
I don't recall, but I remember going to Walla Walla, and I was like, what the fuck? There's nothing here. Like, who would live here next to a fucking penitentiary? That's fucking weird.
So you say that the funny thing is like, you know, like when they show the weather,
Yeah.
like all these cities, I remember as a kid, like, damn, that must be a big city. And then you drive through and you're like, Tri-Cities is not. What the hell does Tri-Cities have that nothing else has? Like,
Dude,
all
yeah.
these towns.
I remember when I moved here, for me, like I loved it because when I grew up in Vegas, it was outside of Vegas called Henderson. So it really reminded me of this area. It was very small. At the time, it was very small. There wasn't much to it. And it was very, you know, like desert, kind of like here. So I like when I moved here, I was like, dude, this is cool. And then it just exploded. It's so big now, like compared to what it was when I moved here, like in 2000.
Yeah, we're still not huge. But I
3.
mean, we're way bigger than we were just 10 years
I can't believe
ago.
I've almost been here like 20 years.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, from the time I graduated till now, areas that were not developed at all are just like gone. They're just completely.
Can you imagine having land and owning land then?
Oh, I wish.
Well, just even like I moved here in 07, like even where my house is, like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that whole hillside just exploded.
When I was a kid,
Are you out in Kennewick?
Yeah, I'm right behind Chinook.
Mhm.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Brandon
For
Middle
sure.
School over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this is a nice area.
when I was a kid, they built Southridge High School. I remember going out
The prison,
for some, like,
which I thought was a
it
prison when I
looked
first
like a
moved
prison.
here.
All schools look like a prison.
It-
Dude, when I
but it
first
was
moved
truly.
here,
I mean, back then in
When
the
I
early
first- yeah.
mid '90s, it was by itself out in the middle of nowhere.
is that when it got built in the 90s?
And it was in like I mean,
Are you sure?
I was still in elementary school when it was built. Yes, it's that.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Like,
what it was built.
I am sure, man.
Like I remember moving here, and it was like I said, 03 or somewhere around there, and 03, 04, I don't remember exactly,
Mhm.
but I remember seeing it, and I was just like, "Is that a fucking juvie?"
It looks
Like I remember asking because it was like,
it looks a little better now with the
It was
addition
like-
that they put in.
well, because
but-
at that time when I came here, it was like Southridge,
nothing.
nothing,
That's exactly what I'm getting at. Yep.
Walmart.
Yep,
I'm
I
like,
know.
juvie. This is a juvie.
It looks
is where
like
the kids
it. It
go.
really does.
But I mean, if you look at all the schools, like all the new schools,
They
like,
do.
Our school, I think, looks
Yeah.
like a prison.
It,
Dude, you're right.
very institutional.
Was it Eastgate? Is it Eastgate that's over here
Yeah.
off of 10th?
mhm.
That looks like a fucking.
They have to now.
When I moved here,
Yeah.
it was like a ghetto looking ass school. Like you
Right.
wouldn't want to go there. Now it looks like nice, but it
Nice.
also looks like you got to get like wanded in before you go.
I mean, you
because
have to
might
commit
got-
at least a mild felony before you can get in. But
Well, you know, and if you think about it, the inside isn't too far off. We have the overlook, so you
We
look
do.
down. Look down.
We look down?
the
oh yeah,
balcony.
cameras all over.
Yeah.
Ask the
Jet
vice
pop.
principal. Can you look? Yeah, right. I know, and it's all cinder block.
Yeah.
Like,
First
I
grade,
have to say,
sector
it's a
3.
it's a pretty building, but like,
It is.
yeah, there's really like I do like the high ceilings and the corridors. That's really nice. But one thing that got me, I remember going
Does
to
it sound like a
meeting.
jail cell?
It's a little echoey.
So I used to. I taught at Eastgate, and I was right. I was in 12. So you're in 13, right?
Mhm, mhm.
I was in 12. That cafeteria, and now I'm right above Tom.
Yeah,
And so, like,
Is it 2-story where you guys are? at?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it's a
I,
good sized school.
yeah,
I have to check it. I don't
It
think I've ever
echoes.
seen it, bro.
the cafeteria, you get all the noise.
I have to close my door.
Yeah.
And luckily, now they're going to change our schedule all up,
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess. But at the time, my kids, when it all started, they would be at special.
See, I have specials when you guys.
So we would just close our door, and then I would close my door when they first came in from recess for like 20 minutes, and then it was all over.
Just
But
crazy loud.
it's crazy
It-
loud.
it-
And they do a good job.
I think our school, like in schools, I've worked at 4 schools. Like our school is one of the best at like keeping hallways
Yes.
quiet.
It looked like I
Our
remember seeing the
principal's very
commercial.
involved in that
Yeah.
part of the school day, which is pretty great.
I remember when you first started working there, and Elliot was on like I don't know if he was on
Oh,
TV.
yeah,
They did
yeah.
a news thing on it. And I was like,
They
that's
did one
fucking.
of those KSD stories, you know,
I'm like,
where they bring in the little
ooh,
camera
look.
thing, and he was meeting Mrs. Mahar. His
I'm like,
first
this is
teacher.
fancy.
Yeah.
Oh, was that
Look
when she was one like the teacher thing?
Yeah, and
She was patting down kids.
Yeah,
It was weird.
yeah. Against the wall. She was crying, but it's like, we're not going to believe you. You're here for a reason, kid.
Yeah, god damn it. What's this weapon on you? It's my Switch
She was
controller.
planting drugs in his pocket.
Well, it reminds me of Dave Chappelle.
Oh,
Just sprinkle some Coke on him. You remember that? That shit?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Fuck, that's fucking great.
Oh, do you
I don't know.
guys,
I went to a pretty good, like my high school was pretty, it was pretty cool.
So,
it wasn't, like, it was outside of where I lived. So it was,
yeah.
I didn't have to deal with it. It
Well,
was,
I
it was
went
nice.
to,
It's like
old
Southbridge.
Kamaikan, which is great. It was like a little college campus. It was like the idea when it was built
I
in the
feel like most of
70s.
the Kennewick, like Richland schools were probably pretty decent.
Well, it was fine. I mean, like
Pasco's
back
pretty
when I was a
garbage.
kid, but like
I think it's better now that they have two schools.
it's a
Before it
little
was
better,
like,
but they resisted that for a
Yeah.
long
Well,
time
Pasco
because
High
they
School-
had power in their football team.
what tripped me out is I didn't know Pasco High School at one point was the biggest high school in the state.
because
it was
they,
like a
they
5A.
resisted building a new school. And
I
even
couldn't
if you look at
imagine.
the numbers now, like the Shawana graduating class was huge
How?
compared to like Kennewick's.
Oh.
I don't remember what the number
Hundreds?
was, but oh yeah.
No.
Yes.
yeah.
It was like 400 or 500, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
oh, I'm
Like,
sure it's.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's
fucking
because
nuts.
they only have two.
That's
They're
not-
the same size as Kennewick or Richland, like really.
Yeah.
And they
sure.
have two, although Richland only has two, right? They have
Yeah,
Hanford
they have
and Richland
Hanford
High.
and
Well,
Richland, yes.
And I think they was
I
the
don't-
middle school they added. They added something.
They did at a middle
There's
school.
a few
yeah,
middle
oh
schools
yeah,
there.
because of West Richland's getting
Yeah.
They
so
have like
big, right?
Carmichael, and then I forget what the other.
But the funny thing
Richland
is, like with Richland too, so like they're doing this whole Richland development,
But there's-
but Kennewick's going to build the school. It's a Kennewick school
Well,
for
In-
Richland kids
like where in Richland?
over kind of by like
Because there's a period where it's like I think it's Kennewick, but it's considered Richland.
yeah,
Like by the mall.
Well,
It's
I think
ridiculous. Yes.
I
It's
think,
stupid.
I think like Howard Amen. Or, no, was
That's
Ammon
Kennewick.
Creek.
Oh,
Ammon
that's
Creek.
Richland.
Ammon Creek. Ammon Creek. I think they have some people that their boundaries are.
You're right.
they actually
You're
live
right
in
because I've
Richland.
had kids that
but
were
they go to
special
Kennewick.
ed. That
And-
was exactly the case. Riata has a weird part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because
It's
it probably hits
so
Kennewick.
weird.
Yeah,
It's so weird.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know.
But Richland has like I've said this before. Richland has like such a like nose in the air attitude about
well,
everything.
because
but
now like
they
you got
count-
Richland, now you got West Richland.
Yeah.
which is
That's fucking
Wait,
That's
fancy.
where the fancy people live.
You in West Richland, you rich. One
We
of
were
my good,
trying
one of my really good friends. His name's Nick.
mhm.
Super awesome guy. That's where he lives. But he's lived there before it was like where it is.
before it was cool.
Before it was bougie and the way
Yeah.
it is now. And
No, it's
but he's
crazy.
lived there like so I play soft. Me and him have played softball for I don't know 12 years now together.
Mhm.
His wife just on Monday was telling me because I was like, "Oh, your kids, like you know, how many kids you got left in the house now? Like you guys are getting kids graduating left and right." She's like, "Oh, we got 2." She goes, "The crazy thing is, our last kid just left Wiley Elementary, which we've had kids in that school for the last 18 years,
Wow,
15, 18 years. They've had kids in that school
that's crazy.
because that's how long they've lived in that area."
Yeah,
And now it's like fucking exploded. It's crazy. It's crazy.
yep. So you sold your house because you owned the house before, right?
Yeah.
And then you moved.
Yeah.
We got the same kinds of comments over and over and over again because we were right here on this side of Kennewick.
Yeah.
And we kept hearing people coming in. They're like, "Oh, love the house. Just wish it were in West Richland." And I'm
yeah.
like, why the hell are you not looking in West Richland then?
Oh, see,
you know-
we got lucky. Our house was on the market for like 6 hours.
Really?
No
And-
way.
Yeah.
You
Like,
got picked
That's
up that
awesome.
quick.
yeah. 6
Wow.
hours, guys. Like
How long ago was that?
2 years. We'll be 2
Oh,
years here.
okay.
Yeah, he's about the same as we were.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we were on 6 hours.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And the person paid all the
Damn.
fees
The
at the end, and he's because he had only been burned.
Was he from Cali?
That's
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You got one of them Cali guys.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck.
Take it. My family was growing.
Who
too
cares?
fast.
Yeah.
Well, no, what's crazy is so when me and my wife got together, she lived in Richland. She lived actually by Chief Joe,
Mhm.
out there off of G-Way, like pretty
Pretty far north.
close to Hanford.
Yeah.
high school. And then, we had our son. And then at that time, I was living with her. So we had our son. And then we had her 3 kids that she had from her previous relationship. And then my daughter would come. And it was just like, this house was fucking small. Dude, it was literally...
It's like a World War II era.
No, it was the size of this little mother-in-law suite, right?
Wow.
You had 2 bedrooms.
Mhm.
That was it.
Wow.
It was downstairs was 1 room. We made a room. Upstairs there's actual 2 bedrooms, but everyone's sleeping.
But they weren't great size.
No, they were
bedrooms.
small.
Yeah.
It was everything was small. So we're like, we're moving. Let's get a house. And for me, I've never owned a house at this time, and I'm in my 30s. I'm like, fuck, bro, I can't afford a house. I bankrupt. I was a loser. And we wanted to stay in Richland, actually. Like, our goal was to actually stay in Richland. We never wanted to live in Kennewick. So back up. My wife wanted to stay in Richland. I didn't give a fuck where I lived. Pasco, maybe not.
Yeah.
Because I lived in Pasco, and I lived in like right behind Walmart in Pasco in these townhomes, and thinking it was like nice, and it was like cops. You would hear cops all the fucking time. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? This is a nice area. Anyway, when it came to house searching, we could not find anything that was like really would fit our family, right? Like, the layouts just were garbage, or they're cookie cutter. Like, all of a sudden you had a room here, and then it just curved into the room here, fucking a 3-inch room here, and it was just like garbage. And so we ended up finding a house just over here, and I was like, dude, I love this house. It's like, yeah.
So
too.
We got burned because we built our house. So when you look at the floor plan, it's like, the living room, the dining room, kitchen. It's going to be so much space. But then you put a couch in there, and then you got 2 kids who keep growing. And it's like, we can't even sit in the living room.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
Was that when you were in Richland, or
no? We bought a house out by Eastgate.
Oh, okay,
and then
that was the one that you built.
We built that
was
one.
a built
And
one.
the one we now is 2018, and
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a nice.
Nice.
I mean, that's a nice area.
Yeah.
Like, when we bought our house, it was just like our house. Like, it was a decent neighborhood. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had this great view. And we're like, yeah. And then houses just popped up.
No, they truly, yeah. You looked up; they had this huge picture window. You still have it.
Yeah, we still have this window.
This picture window,
but you could see like the cable bridge.
There was nothing behind them.
It was a beautiful view. Don't get me wrong. But then all of a sudden they like sold this property behind us, and like now this house is. Granted, our property value went up, which is cool. So
you still have a decent view.
We have a good view. I'm not going to complain.
Rooftops.
I see a rooftop and I see naked people. I mean, whatever. It's cool.
As long as they're pretty, nobody cares.
Yeah. Jet triple.
You're ugly. Go back and
Jet triple
Close
D's.
your shades.
Holy shit.
Grandma's not welcome here.
I don't want to see that shit again. And grandma's here. Yeah. Dude, no, but like, so it's still a decent view and stuff, but like, our property, we'll probably never sell because we don't want to deal with that.
Well, can you guys imagine trying to get anything near what you have now for like?
No.
So we had
the way interest rates are and the economy's at right now.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
No, so we got a flyer that's like a house up the streets for sale, and they're like, "Oh, you can rent your house for this much," and it's like, that's like $300-$400 more than I pay. Like,
right?
It's not worth it. Like,
right?
Just everything is just.
That's the thing, and like to rent is way worse.
Yeah,
and. I don't know. We owned a rental for a while. I would not rent in the state of Washington.
So after I split up with Blanca, like I ended up renting rooms for a bit, like $300-$400, and I was like renting people's rooms out. Like, and it was all right. But I I wanted to be with my daughter, and so I was like, it just isn't cool. So a couple people I worked with wanted to move out wherever they were, so we like, let's fucking get it. Let's all look for a fucking place together. And that's when we found the townhomes right behind Walmart, which was amazing. I had the bottom floor. I had my own bedroom, own bathroom. Great. Upstairs was like the living area, and we all really got along really well. And then upstairs was 2 rooms. They each room had their own bathroom, and then you had your laundry room up there. It was awesome. We all got along really well. Obviously, like the guys that the two people, so it was a girl and a guy, they were together.
Oh.
So they lived upstairs, and I just, I did my thing downstairs.
But you almost can't, like, renting, you almost can't rent. Like, I'm first thinking when I first moved here to the Tri-Cities and my wife and I got our first apartment, like, I was working part-time at Albertsons. She was working part-time at the library. We're both going to college. Like, you cannot afford a place. Like,
no.
Right.
Like, we were lucky if we had like $25 in our bank account by the end of the month.
Well,
but
that's why we all rented.
And that was in 2007. So you can't imagine what
an 2007
an
wasn't
apartment
like now.
An apartment would cost.
Yeah, right. I want to say I don't know what year it was, but it was 9. It was probably like 2009, 2010, 2011 that I was doing this. But 3 of us splitting the. I want to say it was like $1,200. So it was, what was it?
400 something.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
I'm not a
mathematician.
It's like $600 a piece.
It was a cool ass place. Don't get me wrong. It was a cool year that I lived there. We had like an awesome time. We all got along really well until those two broke up and like shit went shit. I'm not a drama. I hate drama. I don't deal with it.
That's tough.
I won't.
You guys are all living together. Yeah.
I can't stand it. And so when that hit, I was just like, oh my God. I remember my buddy like found out his, one of her roommates cheated on him. He just like comes down. It was like a movie. It was like a movie. There's stuff on the counter and he throws it off the movie. She cheated on me. Like it was.
Why'd you throw shit on my counter?
It was funny. It was my buddy. He wants to come on our podcast, obviously, but like.
Sorry, I'm not making fun of you guys.
No. He's cool. I just remember when he did that, I fucking was like,
you're gonna pick that shit up,
I
right?
laughed, and I was just like.
It's always funny because it's not happened to you. You're like, oh, yeah, that's cool. It's not happened to me.
Yeah, I'm like,
right.
Anytime drama happened to me, I was just like, I don't want to deal with this.
I'm gonna be quiet and go to bed.
Yeah, I don't care. And I think that's why, like, for me, drama, I really really I don't know if it's because of how I grew up, but like drama is just something I just couldn't stand. And to this day, I really can't stand drama.
Yeah.
Like
it's the devil's telephone, right?
Like it's not something I really can deal with. I don't know if it's just because something psychologically in my head just doesn't like dealing with it, or I don't know what it is. But at the same time, when drama hits, I'm just like, fuck, man, I don't want to deal with that shit. Yeah. Like I kind of shut down sometimes, or I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if someone's hurt. It doesn't have to deal with me. Fuck it. Oh, see, you know what I mean? Like that's how I get. Like all of a sudden, that's where my mechanisms hit. Like,
it's
fuck
almost,
that shit.
It's almost like a defense. Because we've talked a little bit like same kind of lifestyle growing up. Like I'm bad even with my wife. I'm just like
same here.
I don't want to talk about it. Like just let's not talk about it for 5 days and then it'll be all
it'll go away.
It'll go away.
So
probably not the most healthy way to handle it, but
sometimes we prefer it that way though.
So the crazy thing is like and because you've listened to this podcast obviously is so I was married to Tom's wife and she's the mother of my daughter obviously. And so when shit would hit the fan, like I would get into the shell and I would just like be quiet about shit, or like arguments would happen. And I'd walk away or whatever. And obviously at that time, it was probably not the best route, right? Because at that time I was younger. I was kind of stupid. I didn't know how to handle my emotions. I didn't know what to do with my emotions because, it's just like, fuck this. When I met my now wife, she's a lot more mature than we're the same age. She's very much more mature than I am. And so she helped me through stuff. And like when I would get to a certain point, she was good. But also like as I got older, I started learning like, fuck, I need to talk about this shit, right? As much as I hate to talk about it, like sometimes you need to like just open up and just be like we've talked about, be vulnerable. And just kind of let shit out and just be like, you know what? I really didn't appreciate you, talking to me this way, or I didn't appreciate this or whatever. And so with my wife, like that's what I would do because that's how she responded. And so like our relationship, it's pretty good. Like Tom knows, just the other day, I was walking the dogs right? And she's gonna hate me for this. She's gonna hate me for
She
this
doesn't listen
example.
anyway. It's okay.
She doesn't listen.
No, you're
It's
right.
fine.
She doesn't. You're right.
She'll never know.
My wife, I love my wife to death, and she's a great person, great woman. She's a very good mom, and she's kids love my wife because she's like a mom, and they always look at her that way. Any kid in our neighborhood, my wife will treat if they're her kids. She's done that. She does that to your kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
To Elliot. She treats, that's her son to her, right? She doesn't give them like, well, my son's better than your son. You know, that's not how she is. She's, all these kids are my fucking kids. When they're in my fucking house, these are my fucking kids. You know, that's how my wife would probably talk. Anyway, long story short, long story longer. I'm walking the dogs, and I was like, me and Tom just bought a fishing boat.
Yeah, he was
Right?
Yeah, he was telling me about that.
And so I'm like,
Very nice. Very
Tom's
big
like,
fishing boat.
yeah,
Tom told me
Tom's
that
like,
also would have sunk in the river.
Tom's like, hey, check out the fishing boat. I was like, you know what? I'm taking the dogs for a walk. I'll check.
I'll be there.
I'll be there. I come and I check it out, and my wife calls, and I'm listening to music. I'm listening to some rap or something on my headphones, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I can't hear my wife, and so I'm like, let me put her on speaker. Also, she's like just pissed, right? Tom
Kind of a
knows.
meltdown.
She was not happy because one of the other dogs that we're fostering shit in the house. She had diarrhea. She had the runs, and she shit in the house.
Not just poop, but like
Oh,
messy poop.
Hey, my wife was like, "What the fuck?" Blah blah blah. My younger self would have snapped, right? My younger self would have snapped at the way my wife was talking because obviously Tom heard, and Tom was thinking. Tom goes, "I'm gonna take you home," and I was like, "Nah,
Let me
I'm
just
good."
drive you there. Let's get
I
there
was
quick.
like, "Nah, I'm good. She's okay. Like, I'll walk home. She, you know, like let me just
decompress.
let me decompress because like the person I am, I know my wife wasn't coming at me like you fucked up, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Younger me would have been like, this girl's coming at me like you fucking piece of shit. You're no good. You know, like I would have took that in a different tone. Like for me, I would have took that in a different way because I was younger and I was stupid. I would have been like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. I should have took the dogs, blah, blah, blah. You know, I would have put it on me for whatever reason because I was stupid then. This time, older me, and, you know, like I said, my wife knows who I am. And like, she sounded angry.
She's not happy.
She
was not
No,
happy.
Tom's
I'll
like,
say
dude,
that.
bro, I'll take you home right now. I'll take you home
I'll
take
clean
you
your
home
carpet, dude.
tomorrow.
I'll clean your carpet.
He was like, Tom was like, dude, you can sleep in our house. So I'm like, no, I'm good. But now when I got home, like obviously I say, hey, you know, I didn't appreciate it because the person I was when I was younger, I didn't express how I felt because I thought I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I don't know if it was because of past traumas or stuff that just made me feel that way. But as I got older, I realized, you know, dude, I can fucking, you know, my wife made it feel like I can express myself because the way she talked to me, right? Like, hey, you say how you feel. And so that I'm like, all right, this is your funeral. Because I got a lot of feelings in here. Because as a man, we hold, I think as men, we hold a lot in, right? Like we keep a lot of stuff hidden from our families and our wives. And it's just something we do. And it's not because we're doing it to like hurt them. We're doing it because we're trying to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I would do. And so then when my wife would tell me like, dude, you need to fucking talk to me because I'm here for you. Like she was in my corner, you know? So I'm like, all right. So after she had her issue, whatever, I had expressed, hey, you know, I just really feel like I ain't gonna lie. Hey, you know what? I feel like I shit in the house. This is how I felt. Like I literally, that's what I told her. I feel like I just took a shit in the house. The way you yelled at me.
I feel like I ever heard our own house.
Yeah. That was just Amber turd or my own house. How's her bed looked? But she, you know, and then when I had said that, she's like, no, you know, I didn't mean that.
I know you didn't shit in the house.
I go, you know, I know you didn't mean that, but I just want to know I want to let you know that how it came across. And so we had this conversation.
I was scared.
Yeah, Tom was.
I felt like I shouldn't. Your house.
Tom was like, he started wiping his ass right there. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, dude, I got this wipes just in case.
I feel like I shit in your house, man. I'm sorry.
He was cleaning the fucking ground. I don't know why. He was like spraying the concrete. What are you doing? Dude, I shit in your house, bro. I'm trying to clean it. I'm like, no, you didn't. It was Kinsley, I promise. But no, once I told my wife and I spoke to her and I expressed my feelings to her, she was just like, no, she's just like, I didn't mean that. I go, I know you didn't mean that, but I'm just telling you how I felt at that moment. And I know, and I kind of like try to tell Tom, like, I know she's not upset because I don't want Tom to look at her like, damn, your wife's a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
He knows how my wife is. My wife's a good person. She can come across very
We married Latinas. They're strong ladies.
They're strong women. But my wife will literally give you the shirt off her back. Like my wife has a big heart. But so I was just like, I had to express myself. And it was weird because it's not something 10 years ago I would have done. Or not even 10 years ago, 12 years ago, because I've been with my wife 10 years now, I guess. But even then, I got to say, like, I wouldn't have done that. So it's weird. It's cool. Like I was able to find myself, and it was like a process, something I'm still trying to find that. I still deal with like a lot of emotions in my head. Like this whole week's been shitty for me because like I've had my review for work, and I know my boss meant well with what he said, but at the same time, my head's like, you're like a piece of shit, whatever. I try to it's shit you got to work through. And being older now, like it's stuff like, okay, I'm working through that. It's stuff I wish I would have known when I was younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You almost have to be ready for it though, right? Like,
yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of stuff.
I don't know where I was going with this. I don't know where our subject was at this time, but I'm trying to throw something out there.
Yeah. No. Well, wives and communication and how we feel and what we think. And
which we always
I've known a lot of things that I should be or should do, but it's like knowing how to do that when you're not ready for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say I'm still not at that point.
Like, you and me both.
Yeah,
it's tough.
When I get when something's stressful, I think I kind of hide.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I need to get to that point.
Yeah,
that I can.
I got to talk. You got to talk about it. You can talk about it. Yeah, I get it.
In an unintended way, it causes more significant problems.
Yeah,
and it's like I think you've kind of mentioned before, like. I know you and I both have a similar scenario where you work and then your kid's with you and then you get home and then it's like there's never that split second of a breath between just being on for somebody else.
Which is crazy because I work from home.
Yeah.
And you guys, like, obviously you work out of school and you work with your kids. Mm-hmm. And especially if they're in your class.
You had Elliot too, right?
I did.
Yeah.
So especially if they're in class. So I work at home, and so I kind of get where you guys are both going with that, where it's just like you just don't have that time.
There's never a moment of just.
Like, I just need to take some shit in and just like zone out.
Yeah, it's just a moment of like I often I'll go to the bathroom right when I get home because I have to go to the bathroom, and then B,
we don't get to at school.
It's just like, I don't have time.
Well, I'm going to ask you both this. So when it's you want to have your quiet time, do you take bathroom as that's your time to take a moment? That's because that's for me. That's
and not even like intentionally. I don't go in there like I'm going to be for 30 minutes on my phone.
No, I do.
I sit down, I pull my phone out, and then 30 minutes has passed. And then
I'm not even going to lie to you. Intentionally, I purposely, if there's, and I've told my wife this, and I've told you, I think I've told you this. If I disappear, I'm in the bathroom most of the time, and it's because I need to get away from everybody. Because I need to collect myself because I'm like.
Well, you often have a lot of people in your house too.
Well, yeah. So
I got 3 others.
Sometimes I'll have like my wife's family come over.
Yeah, he's got like extended family over a lot.
Like I'll have my wife's family, and I'm like not good when there's just a shitload of people. Yeah. Like I love having people around. So this is what's weird. I love having people around. I'll talk to everybody. I'll be extrovert till I die, but I'm also very introverted. Yeah. Right. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I totally get it.
I'm an extrovert, but
I'm an extrovert as a coping mechanism.
Yeah, but
because I am not an extrovert.
An
so like I have to be like 2 on, and then when I'm done, I'm just shot and tired.
Oh, dude, that's how I am.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna be going to we're gonna be going to, like, my wife does, her family does this thing at a beach house every year, right? And so we're gonna be going there, and so I'm like mentally I have to prepare myself for this because I'm gonna be around a bunch of people and kids, and I have my way of talking and thinking, and if they don't agree with it, I have to somehow fucking deal with that. And it's a really it's a process, dude. Yeah. Well, and it really is.
I'm the same way. Like I feel like I'm an extrovert at school. I mean, Mom's seen me. Like I'm pretty wild and crazy.
Well, you seem like very extroverted when I've talked to you.
But
like,
then,
recently.
like I get home.
The second time I've talked to him
in person. Yeah,
this is day 2.
This is day 2. Hey, I mean, we bonded. We both died together.
We almost died.
Cool,
we all
did.
No, but like once I get home, I'm like, leave me.
It's like you're over, right? Like your energy's gone. Because some people actually get energized by being around other people and like talking and being on the show.
See, but mine's kids.
Yeah,
kids. Put me around kids, I'm fine. Put me around adults, I'm like, I don't know.
Right. Well, it's kind of stressful. You feel like you're gonna get judged, or you're gonna.
Well, do you think it's because for you're a teacher, both of you actually?
Yeah, we work together. For those that don't know,
is it because I'm above Tom's class? Yeah.
Is it because you guys? Me?
I do. I tell my kids, I was like, if they start stumbling, I'm like, Mr. Parham is so nice. Do not get him angry at us.
That's so nice.
And they're like, okay.
I don't want to see.
We remember him. He was a real ass. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but like, do you think it's because, like, obviously you're around kids all day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for you, obviously that's what you're used to. You're around these kids that are in first grade to third grade, we'll say, right?
Yeah.
So what are we talking? 5 to 8 years, right?
Yeah.
You're around these kids, and so when you get home, you're around like adults, and so it's like, I don't know how you don't know how to almost respond to them because your response mechanism is kids, right? And it's not really, like a knock.
It's nice to be around adults because I love having adult conversations.
Because you're not used to it. Though,
I just think it's too like we're men and we don't. If it's true what they used to say about men, we just don't have as many words.
Yeah. Well, it is, but but do you think it's also because you're not?
We're just so in tune with having to be and
you're used to being around kids.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot
20 hours of your day.
I think your brain's so tired. I think you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Like you have to try to figure out and get ahead of a billion things throughout the entire day. Yeah. Like you're trying to anticipate what's gonna go wrong where all the time. So
because you're just like kids,
you're just shot. Yeah. Your thinking is just done. It's like my brain. I have gone home so many days just feeling like rummy. Like my brain was just like on autopilot because you're just done thinking. I want to just like I listen to the news on my way home. That's like the only news I want to hear is like 5 minutes, so I can just turn it off, have some clue of what's going on in the world, and be done with it. And I just listen to that shit, zone out. And then Elliot, now he wants to talk to me more. He's like, Dad, let's talk about this game. I'm like, I don't want to fucking talk about a game. You play along. It's like, I know you didn't talk to me all day.
See, that's my only saving grace. Since Paige was with me all day, she didn't have to tell me anything. It's like, I know everything that happened.
See, he didn't tell me as much last year, but now he does because I'm not his teacher anymore.
So, like I said, I'm at home all day. So that I'll go pick the kids up from school or I go do this or whatever. And the kids are always just like, I'm like, for me, I'm used to being around either adults or by myself.
Yeah.
So when I first started working from home, it was just really stressful because I'm like,
we had my kid there too.
Well, which wasn't bad. Like I didn't mind that. Like
I know what you mean though.
But like for me, it was just like, oh God, I don't know how to deal with this. Like it's very stressful. Like all of a sudden, I got all these kids asking 37 questions. Oh my God! Like I just want to fucking go. Where's the nearest fucking ceiling so I can hang myself real quick?
See, and I was the opposite. I lost the energy. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
because teachers, we fake it until we make it.
All the time.
Yeah. But you know, the whole COVID thing, it just gave me a bigger sense of respect for teachers, right? Because you guys got to do.
Want to share that with everybody else?
Yeah, right. I mean, I feel like we got I've said this before. We got the round of applause in the beginning, and then by the end it was like, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah, so I got a lot of respect for teachers and stay-at-home moms. Right. Mm-hmm. My wife was a stay-at-home mom, and I seen the mental struggle she dealt with being a stay-at-home mom. Like, she just. She's around kids all like you guys both know. Mm-hmm. You guys are around kids all day. All you talk to is kids. All you know is kids. It's like your conversations revolve around kids. You need, as an adult, I and you can tell me I'm wrong if you want. I think you need some sort of adult interaction with other adults, mm-hmm. right? You need that like kind of break.
Yeah.
Between like kids and adults. And so my wife didn't have that break at that time, just like you guys probably didn't, obviously, as teachers. And I understand that. So I could see just the change in her just attitude and just everything, which we had spoke about just previously. And so when I had spoke to her, like, I think you need to get like a job, part-time job. You need to talk to
get out for a while. Yeah.
Bro. Talking to my wife like that, bro.
Come on, bro.
Come on, bro. Anyway, no, I was just telling her like I think you need to, you need like an interaction with people besides not only like
not just me,
me, because obviously I'm here for you always. Blah blah blah. Here's Daddy's here. Poppy's here, girl. Yeah, like I'm here, like I get it, but I don't
you
care.
I don't want to talk to you, girl.
Like I don't give a fuck what relationship you're in or how good your relationship is. You always need time away from your person.
Sure.
Right? You need time away from your wife.
For a
well-balanced,
healthy relationship.
I need time away from my wife. I love my wife, and I will.
Well, you can't be the only outlet for that person.
Exactly.
Like that's not a healthy position.
So when I had suggested that, I was like, whatever. So she ended up getting a job. Dude, when I say her attitude was different, it was 180.
Yeah.
In less than like a month or something. Mm-hmm. Like all of a sudden, she's just a different person. I'm like, oh, this is great for her. And she hates working. My wife hates working. Like she tells me all the time, I only work because you want me to work. I'm like, yeah, but how much have you saved? How much are you doing this? You're enjoying these people. And she can't say no to me on any of this because she knows it's helping her. Yeah. And just like myself, like when I was working in the office, it was amazing. I loved it. I hated the commute. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. The commute sucked balls. But I loved that I was there talking to my employees who worked there, talking to people I worked with, whatever. It was just amazing. I work at home now. Like I'm around kids all day. I'm like you guys. Well, I'm around kids all day. Well, I got to deal with all this shit. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to shoot myself. Well, I hate it.
I don't know how you feel, Tom. Like I feel like not only do I have to talk to other adults, but it's other guys.
Yeah.
Because elementary, we're at a school that's got a lot of guys.
We're fortunate that way.
But like just getting guy time because
you need it.
We just generally work with women.
Yes,
predominantly at elementary schools. So it's like just the guy time, and I plug you guys. That's why I listen to you guys. It's
Thank you.
Even though it's like this is the second time Jesse and I have actually talked in person.
Well, no, it's like this is the second time I've ever
guy
met.
Time.
Right. Right. Well,
and I get where you're coming from. Like I understand, and like I appreciate it. Like. I think that's awesome. Yes. I think we all need guy time.
Yeah,
we do. And I think it's been crapped on at times in modern culture. And 100%. It's just something that it is needed. I'm not going to apologize for it. Like,
as I say a million times, 100%.
100%. And like, no, I think the shared door between the classrooms is a godsend because the gal that I work next to, we're always opening the door and talking. That's your adult time.
So how hard would it be if you guys didn't have as many men working with you guys?
Depends on who you worked with. I mean, if you can get luckily I get along really well with the gal I share a door with. Yeah, because I think like Mike knows the same thing. Yeah, like that's the person you talk to 90% of the time.
My teammate's leaving me; she's going out to a portable. So I'm gonna miss JoJo.
Yeah. It's it's going to be really weird. Yeah. If Amy ever leaves, it's going to be really weird.
But is it weird when your wives are like, oh, so you can talk to her?
No, actually, Blanca's never felt that way.
Okay, no, that's good. No, I'm just wondering.
Yeah, no, it's funny because Blanca has been really jealous before about certain scenarios, and I think it's because this person was going through a divorce, and I was like helping them. Which is an older gentleman, I'd probably be like, okay,
why'd you massage him?
Maybe that's kind of like going to send the wrong message.
Weird because you massaged him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, okay, I'm sorry I pulled my dick out, all right? Like,
you feel
too much. Okay. No, but like, I've learned, I haven't done that again. Like,
no more HR
meetings. No more HR meetings. Like, I get it. Okay, I get it. Over the line.
Trust me, I've been there.
No, but like it's been a very she hasn't had any issues with it, and it's a godsend for us because it's the adult. Like you open the door, the kids are gone, you're like, oh my God, let me tell you about this fucking thing that just happened.
But
how
like, the
awesome
guy is it
doesn't happen
to have like a woman in your life. Mm-hmm. Like we all are fortunate because we have like very, and I don't know your wife, but from how you just already speak, I feel like your wife's a very awesome woman, right?
Supportive.
Yeah. She's very supportive. Yeah. And I think that's awesome. I think we all need that, right?
Yeah.
We all need a woman in our lives that's going to support our mental health, right? And this is something that me and Thomas talked at. We always talk about, and I'll talk about it until we end this fucking podcast. Men's mental health it's important, right? Mm-hmm. But to have like your significant other support that mental health. Right? Yeah. Like, I mean, you can't beat that. Like,
you really can't.
Like to have Blanca support your mental health. Like, that's awesome. Like, yeah, she might not agree with some of the shit, whatever, but she also supports where you're coming from.
Yeah, she's a writer.
Your wife might not agree with it. I don't know your wife's name. I don't know.
Samantha. Yeah.
Samantha. Yeah. Oh, that's my cousin. My cousin's name is Samantha.
There you go.
She might not agree with some of the shit, but like she seems very supportive of where you want to be mentally because she knows it's going to be good for you, right?
Yeah. Like
I think that's amazing. I think that's so amazing.
And I think that's one thing you guys have talked about mental health, and then you've talked about counseling. And I actually went to Tom and I was like, hey, I told Samantha, like, hey, I need to go look at doing this.
I need to ask how that went, by the way.
She was just like, okay. And then, of course, I forgot to follow through. Well,
no, that's how I am.
But at least you know the options out there.
Yeah, so there's a website, BetterHelp.com. And they don't support us. Yeah. They don't support our podcast. We're not there yet.
We're not affiliated with them yet.
Yet. BetterHelp.com. But BetterHelp, they do online like counseling, and they'll help you virtually.
Yeah,
like you can do like on like Zoom meetings, which are like mental health shit. Which
is cool. He and I both felt like this is like a huge mental.
Oh no, 100%
for us just to have some kind of constructive way. We're not just like venting. We're actually trying to get some kind of message out there. Yeah. It feels
for me doing this podcast, and I've said this before, mentally it like does something for me, like where it's just like I'm able to release certain things about myself, or I'm able to release certain things that the way I feel mentally. And it might sound stupid because it's, maybe I'm drunk or maybe I'm fucking, maybe I'm drinking. I don't know. But there's times where it's just like, doing the podcast for me has always, it's almost like a fucking,
emotional
it's almost a session.
Sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Because I don't know. Like I've always, I'm 41. I've kept so much bottled up in myself that I never realized that I struggled with like anxiety. I only knew that because I smoked weed and I did certain things where it's just like
coping, right?
Yeah, like certain things that I try to cope with. I've done coke, meth, whatever. I've done shit like that where I'm trying to cope with shit I'm dealing with. And it just never worked, right? But doing this podcast, talking about the most random shit we talk about, it's helped me more than any of the coke I've tried, meth I've tried, smoking weed, doing the stupid drugs I've tried. Like none of that has ever come close to just me and Tom talking about stupid shit.
Well, and
is that weird?
No,
it's
weird.
Not at all. Like I'm not even joking.
Thank God that that's the case.
No, and it does have an impact. Like I've listened to all the episodes.
Yeah.
Like I think we were talking before. It's like I did all this stuff before COVID, and like COVID kind of shut down all that stuff. And
Yeah, for sure.
Or it's like, for me, it was like, oh, I need to do that again. Or like you're talking about stuff like sharing your feelings. It's like, I need to go. Tom's talked about it. I need to go to Tom and like talk to like
for sure
get set in the right direction because I suck at it.
It's hard.
But I need to do.
It's really hard.
You might suck, but you want to do it, right?
I know what I need to focus on.
Exactly.
So I can do it now.
Right.
Getting me to follow through might be a totally different.
Yeah, but you took the first step. That's all that really matters.
But the cool thing is you realize what you need to do, right? You need to maybe talk to Tom, right?
Well, we're always here for you. I mean,
dude, even if Tom's out there, you know my number, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna ever tell you, fuck you. I don't need.
I hope not.
I got shit to do with.
That was
really
the first text I got from you.
It's date night.
Matt, fuck you.
Matt. Yeah, Matt. Yeah. Hey, Matt. Fuck you, Matt. He's like, it's fucking Mike, bitch.
But this is the thing, like the guy thing you're talking about, where like in our profession, you don't get a lot of this. No. And I didn't grow up with a lot of this. Like I didn't really bullshit with my friends that way,
dude.
And I have my best friend from childhood was a guy, but I had a lot of other friends that were like girls, and it's nice to be an adult and to have those like real male friendships where,
like, how cool is that? Though?
Like, yeah, I mean, like. It's something that's needed.
Yeah,
it's needed. And
so this is the one thing I can never relate to. What you just spoke on. You have your friend Levi.
Yes.
Right? Yep. You guys have been friends
since fourth grade. Yep.
He
works at Sagecrest, actually. He's one of the night custodians. He works out in the portables at night.
Do we have a night custodian?
We do. Portables? I didn't know until we hung out. And he's like,
Randy.
I know.
So I'll never know what it's like to have a friend from then.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll never know what it's like to have these, like how you used to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not knocking you for that because I think that's amazing. I think that's
almost a little jealous.
I hear you.
Not almost. I am 100% jealous. I think that's awesome that you have like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I wish I had that. Like,
well, I hear you.
Like,
and I've heard both of your stories, and honestly,
I wish I had something.
Dumb luck for me. It wasn't because. Of something personal, like I'm this great guy. It's because I was here forever, and he was here forever. Like
I wish I would have had something that would said, "Hey, blah blah blah. This is how you should feel." Blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just had to deal with shit.
Yeah.
Like I grew up, my mom got her fucking ass beat. Oh well, this is what you got to deal with. How are you gonna deal with it? Well, I guess I'm gonna deal with it this way. Don't beat women. I guess that seems like a pretty fair thing to do. Don't beat women.
Seems like the right thing.
I mean, I know you've shared your stuff, and I kind of have a similar stuff. Almost like we had to grow up.
Yeah.
Way before we were supposed to. Like,
100%.
And then because of that, we had nobody to.
We didn't have no one to talk to.
Nobody to talk to. Nobody to teach us. Like, it's
hard to relate to them because
it's okay to feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Right.
Because when I grew up, and I'm not trying to cut you off right here. I don't want you to feel like I am. But you almost grew up where it's like you feel a certain way, but you didn't have someone to guide you. Like, okay, it's okay to feel this way. But like for me, it was like at least at the time when I was growing up, bitching and crying and whatever how I felt, it was you're a fucking man. Don't do that. And it's like I'm fucking 7 years old. What do you mean don't fucking do that? Fuck you, bitch. Did I think that then? No.
But you were forced to grow beyond your years.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
That's the part that I struggle with now. I still as an adult, talking to my wife because I didn't have that.
Well, you were taught not to do that.
Exactly. And that's how I was.
You're supposed to
just hold it here.
Hold it in.
Right.
Hold it here.
And not just you're supposed to, but like that was ingrained in you from the time that you were young enough. Like that's bigger than.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Would fucking beat the shit out of my mom, but I had to hold what I felt because of that. Because I would witness my stepdad. And I don't joke around, and I'm not like advocating this, or I'm not like making this more than what it is. Mm-hmm. I would watch my mom get her ass beat by my stepdad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I would see my mom like, she'd fight back. Awesome. But, for me, it's just like, is that normal?
What do you do with that as a kid?
As a kid, like for me, is that normal? Like for me, like obviously I don't want to see my mom getting her ass fucking beat. But at the same time, like I don't know what to do with that, and then all of a sudden I gotta deal with it.
It almost becomes normal because
it was normal for me
because you didn't know who to talk to.
I didn't talk to nobody.
That's how you grew up. So that
you have to survive.
So right? I didn't have the abuse. My family was like drugs.
Yeah. Like my mom was like a drug addict at that time.
My parents were both meth heads.
Yeah. My mom was on what she called speed.
Yeah.
Angel dust.
So like you don't know how to like, oh, my parent has an issues and I have an issue. That's just kind of like, oh, my parents are doing this, and it's kind of
that's it. That's normal.
It's the norm. Like,
exactly.
And I think that's what took me so long. Like I tell people, I don't think I figured out life until I was like a senior in high school.
Yeah, exactly.
But in ways, you figured out aspects of life way earlier, right? And that's kind of what you guys were getting at, that you can't necessarily connect the same, because if you have a young, I mean, you're 7. And your other 7-year-olds are talking about Power Rangers.
Cool.
No, what I'm saying is,
dude, if you're a 7-year-old and all your friends want to talk about Power Rangers, you're already dealing with these adult issues.
Like I was like, Power Rangers?
How do you relate?
That's because you're old, Jesse.
Yeah,
because you're fucking old, man.
Power Rangers? No.
Okay.
What do you mean, Matt Lowry?
I don't know.
I was talking about Matt Lowry in Nightly News.
Was it Fun with Dick and Jane or whatever the fuck you were watching back then?
No, but I get what you're saying.
We watch Bonanza reruns. We just watch Bonanza.
Yeah, you don't know, motherfucker. You don't know my life. But I get what you're saying.
No, but I mean, like, it makes sense why it would be hard to even like have friends of your same age, because if they don't have the shared experience, they're like babies, right?
Well,
like,
no, you're exactly right, because like I had friends that were probably my age. I had one friend that was a little older.
But you just look at them and you're like, you're so stupid. Like,
no, I never looked at it that way, but I just never shared what I was going through with anybody I was friends with.
Mm-hmm.
But also like the shit that would happen. Like I was very good at keeping shit bottled up.
Mm-hmm.
At 16, 17, I could keep shit bottled up like a pro. No one knew what I was struggling with. No one knew that my family was fucking dealing with whatever we were fucking dealing with. Then no one knew that. The only person that ever knew what I was dealing with in those times was the girl I was dating.
Mm-hmm.
This girl, like she knew what I was dealing with because I was talking to her, and she was there, and she knew, hey, you're going through a lot of shit, man. Like you need someone. I'm like, nah, fuck that. Like, see, I got myself, motherfucker. Fuck you.
See, I
got me.
I think I was friends with the people like that were in the same situation, but it was like an unspoken,
I didn't even know.
It was an unspoken amount. Like we knew,
like a band of brothers, like shared experience.
Which would have been cool.
Like your parents, like we ran the streets and did whatever we wanted, and
yeah.
But we didn't like, hey, your dad's over there doing meth. My mom's over here doing meth. It was just like we all knew we all had our little issues, and we kind of stuck together.
Unspoken bond.
Yeah.
yeah.
I get it. I get that. That makes sense because I feel like.
But you did not have that experience. You did not.
I don't think I had that like bond where it was like these parents were like filling each other.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole drug thing. Oh, my mom was on meth. She called it speed at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like, when she so before I went to Job Corps, my mom told me this whole story, right? And I was like, dude, that's crazy, you know. Like she goes, yeah, I was on speed and I did this, and God told me not to write this book, so I fucking burned it.
Yeah, this guy had an entire.
My mom wrote a
novel written.
No, my mom. No joke. My mom wrote a horror like Stephen King style.
Probably
novel.
the best novel man's ever seen. She burned it.
No, my mom 300 plus pages. Oh. My mom had typed this up. No joke. 300 plus pages. God had told my mom whatever God had decided to say, hey, nah, fuck that.
Burn it.
Fucker, fuck you. Don't burn. I don't want that shit in my Bible.
What if you read the book and it was all like red rum.
Knowing my mom, it was probably
pretty
good.
good.
It was probably very, very good. My mom was very artistic, just like my sister is now.
Pretty intelligent.
They're very artsy people. My mom and my sister to this day, they're very artistic. My mom was able to draw stuff that looked as real as what you see right there on that monitor. My mom could draw that.
Dang.
She was that good, right? And that's not exaggerating. She might say it's because she was on speed, which now we would say meth. I've done meth. I was addicted to meth. You know, I've done my share. I can draw that.
I tried.
I couldn't draw that. I could stay awake looking at that for like a couple days.
I do want to say that thank God.
I could stay awake looking at that for 2 days, but
there's
I can
two
draw.
things. Like one thing, so you're an example of somebody that tried to find yourself sort of going through all those steps.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And thank God that you didn't find your salvation in that.
No,
in some way.
Which I knew I probably would never.
But you've done it differently.
I got lucky. I left when I was 11 years old.
Yeah.
And then so I got lucky.
Funny you would say it that way though. I got lucky because I don't think many of us would think of it as
I got
luck,
lucky. I left at 11, which is wow.
So I got lucky, and people were like, families were willing to take me in, like,
which is awesome.
Not through like the foster system. It was just like, oh, I would spend at your house, and I would spend at your house, and then slowly I would just move into your house, and there I would be. And
you would
just adults that knew that you needed.
So he was hanging out with people who are like my wife. My wife is that person.
Yeah.
Where she's just like,
your wife would have been my saving grace.
Oh, my wife would have been that person. My wife might cuss the fuck out of you, but she's going to teach you the right from wrong.
Yeah.
That's how my wife is. I'm not even joking.
So I got lucky. I left. I had families that exposed me to what a normal family should be like. Mm-hmm. I just think I had a hard time because I was so I grew up being the adult.
Yeah.
I burned those bridges. Thankfully, I think I've repaired them all. Like they've seen me. Like
I think you're doing pretty good. I don't know you the way Tom knows.
Pretty good guy. Yeah.
You seem like you got it pretty good down.
I'm sitting here thinking like, hey, all you watching, thanks for like, why the hell did you take a chance on me? But they did.
Yeah.
They saw something. And so, like I didn't figure it out until I dropped out of high school twice, and until I was a senior in high school. Like,
but that's maturity, that's age, that's growing up, and that's what's so hard.
But you're also sharing your experiences, like what you've dealt with, and there's. Granted, we might not have the 100,000 listeners that most podcasts, not most, but some podcasts have. But you're sharing your experience where it's just like there's someone out there that
there's somebody that cares about you.
Yeah,
like
there's someone
the people who I consider to be my parents. Mm-hmm. They still support me.
How awesome does that feel, though?
Oh yeah, but I mean, the funny thing is, I only actually lived at their house for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. But they were just like that,
and I burned the bridge. I burned the bridge because of my attitude.
Well, what had you gone through then? That.
Oh yeah, and so I mean, they knew, but I mean,
but like that's what I mean. Like prior to that, what did you deal with? Like you were dealing with so much.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest issue was my biological mom and my biological dad was like drugs. Yeah. Like I can remember, and it wasn't hidden. Like my dad, well, like we'd be playing Super Nintendo and he'd be smoking it. Right next
with
to me.
You.
Dude,
like,
right I get that. I get that.
Yeah. So and then like, and I can remember like the spoon, the burnt spoon in the bathroom.
Yeah.
In the bathroom. Like I can remember all that stuff. Like and so dealing with that, having to be an adult, my mom only had my brother and sister like on the every other weekend.
Yeah.
And like those weekends I had to take care of my brother and sister. Like I had to be the adult. There was nobody to take care of me. I had to take care of myself. Man. So like having somebody take control, having my mom and dad take control.
Kind of scary.
Well, I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And so
how weird was it to not have that control? To not have to worry about that control?
It was,
right? Because you didn't have to worry about that at one point.
But
but you didn't know how.
I didn't know how to give up the control.
Right.
And so I always was like,
you almost like act out.
You act out, yeah.
Exactly.
And then eventually I had burned the bridge, and they were always supportive of me. Even when I left, I always went back because my brother.
But I feel like those parents probably understood, like, you know what? I know he's acting out, but at the same time, like
they had their firm lines.
They knew where they might understand, like, okay, he's gonna act out, but we're not gonna like just say, oh, fuck him.
No.
Right.
No.
We know why he's acting out, right?
And even when I moved out.
Like they actually had this understanding that some parents don't have. Like what you're just speaking of. I think that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like obviously, I'm not letting you finish your story. I'm sorry. I really apologize.
I mean, you're saying exactly.
But like they seen, like, dude, like they seen the struggle you fucking had to deal with, and they're just like, okay, yeah, I get it. He's gonna fucking push us in this way, or he's gonna push us. Shit's gonna happen. But you know what? At the end of the day, this is our guy.
Yeah.
He's our fucking son. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't give a fuck what he does. At the end of the day, he's my son, and I'm gonna be there for him every inch of the way.
Yeah.
And that's how it sounds like.
Yeah. And even when I moved out and lived with different families who were willing to take me in, like they were always the safe haven. They were always
you knew you could go
Dude,
home.
that's so awesome.
So even though it was only a year and a half of actually living with them, they're the people I consider my parents.
That's pretty cool.
They're the people that kind of supported me, even though my wife gets confused when I say my mom, because I lived with so many families. I would just hey mom, hey mom. And so,
like,
but those are the people I consider to be my parents. They've stuck with me.
That's awesome.
Supported me, and
are they pretty proud now to see you as a teacher and doing well?
So the funniest thing is my dad.
That's awesome,
right? I mean,
he's like opposite of what you would think people would see.
I sit here and think of like the things that like I tell my kids, like I was a bad kid, and they're like, "Well, what'd you do?" I'm like, "I can't tell you."
Yeah,
like
right.
I remember we put like bullets, like we had the garbage cans out on the playground, cemented so it didn't blow over. We put bullets on there and dropped it, and it was like a bomb went off of the playground. I'm like, you would have been expelled. I would have been expelled
back then. Yeah.
No, I got in school suspension, and so it was like, they just supported and
they were there for you always. Yeah. And I think that's amazing.
But my dad even told me, like, he was here. We had a kind of mini family reunion at my house, and he was telling me at one point, he's like, as much as you were in the principal's office in middle school, and like he literally had to come to school to my Spanish class.
But he was there for you every time.
To sit in my Spanish class just to make sure I behaved. And he's like, there was a while I didn't know if you were gonna even grow up to get a job.
But how proud is he of you?
But now it's like,
thank God I could breathe. He made
it. How amazing is that as a feeling as a parent to know that your kid, like as a parent, for me anyway, like you can see your kid, like, fuck, my kid might be fucked up, right? Yeah. And I don't mean that in a mean way. Like,
oh, I was.
You know what I mean? Like
blowing up stuff on the playground with bullets.
Well, like you'll see that. Like you're just like, dude, my kid's gonna be a piece of shit. Blah 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 blah. And then when all of a sudden you see your kid just come into this person who is their own, and then slowly, like, yeah, you might be saying stuff, but like really, they're only making their own decisions. Yeah, you have this small portion where you're throwing these ideas out to them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But these little ideas that are getting thrown out, like slowly, that's them. Like,
I'm sure my dad.
How fucking awesome is that?
I'm sure my mom and dad probably go, all the torture was actually worth it.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
And it's not just the people like
they're there.
I lived with lots of families. I think they all have a little bit of pride. Like we helped them. So
the fact that they stayed there with you, like, God, that's got to be amazing. That's amazing.
Question for anyone out there that's going through this: maybe they had a great upbringing and they are working with a kid that's struggling, or they're stepping in that role. They're the foster parent, or they're in some kind of role. Yeah. For you being a kid and having this guy who wasn't your biological dad come into a classroom to sit and make sure that you were okay and that you were doing it, kind of explain for an audience how do you perceive that as like a middle school kid? Like, is that something where they should feel like, yes, I'm doing God's work? Or is it like, as a kid, do you not get it and then you appreciate it later?
As a kid, you're sitting there, what the hell? You are embarrassing. I'm not even the worst kid in the class.
Like, why? I get that.
So I think I've told my dad this. Like, back then, I could say, I hated you.
Yeah.
But now I have two kids. And like, you saved my life.
I get what you're saying.
You showed me
such a different perspective.
So as a kid, you're like, oh, that is the worst.
Right.
But as an adult, I'm sitting there like, thank you for the patience. So that any parent who's doing that, like,
be patient.
Be patient.
Know that when they have their own kids, they're going to see what you're doing and be okay with it.
They're going to see that like, he wasn't trying to pick on me. He was trying to teach me lessons along the way.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't pick him up until a lot later, but he was trying to teach me lessons the whole time.
Right.
So if, as an adult, if you're doing that, foster care or anything, patience.
Just
Patience,
stick with
patience,
it.
patience.
No.
And I'm sure probably some of it is, I don't think he probably ever took it personally.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think that's important.
Yeah,
but that takes
like,
maturity. Even as adults, sometimes people take it personally.
Dude, like,
so that's,
I had a one-on-one, and I was trying not to take what my boss was telling me personally. I wanted to kill him.
fuck you, dude.
But I got where he's going from. I'm not trying to take that personally. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I need to go pee.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
That's
They'll
all right.
talk. We're
What time
about an
are we
hour.
at?
I'm just an hour in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
We're so good.
I know.
We're
It feels like forever.
It flies.
Yeah.
It does. I'm sorry, guys, but I gotta go.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's
Let's
really
talk.
fascinating talking with you and Jesse because I mean, you've heard me talk.
Yeah.
Like, I had just your traditional upbringing. My dad didn't.
Yeah.
My dad, he's never talked about parents doing drugs or anything like that, but just non-supportive parents.
Yeah.
Parents that could have cared less where he was. Or what he was
I would say my mom was very absentee.
uh-huh.
I mean, my biological mom was 16 when she had me.
Yeah.
So she probably didn't know how to be an adult either.
Sure. Right.
She didn't know how to make adult choices.
Yeah. She was a kid.
She was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that factored into it. And,
Right.
I don't know, trust, I guess.
Yeah.
Like there's part of me that looks back and like, yeah, she probably did the best that she could,
Sure.
but she didn't know.
Right.
Like there's part of that. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, single mom, that young, super poor. Like
Right.
we lived in a 1-bedroom place. She didn't even have a bed. She slept on the couch.
Yeah.
Like part of me goes, yeah, she tried to make the most out
She
of
did what she could.
but then she just started making really bad choices and
right.
could never.
Probably got overwhelmed with it all.
Well, I don't think she'd ever. I just think she just didn't know. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if my grandma was around. Like we didn't
Right.
talk about I talked to my uncle every once in a while. Like I don't know what it was like. He left early. I think he went to the Navy at like 16 or 17.
okay.
So that's how that was.
So
that was
he
my
got out.
That was my uncle's escape for that kind of situation.
Yeah. And he stayed pretty like straight and narrow.
Yeah,
like he was kind of a guy you could go to for.
We have a long distance relationship because he was in the Navy. He traveled, so like we're friends on Facebook. But
Sure.
the uncle nephew relationship, I would not say is strong because he wasn't around when I grew up.
Right.
Not his fault. He was taking care of himself.
Yeah. Right.
But just my mom didn't know better, and then the bad choices. She probably didn't even. For her, it was probably like I think about it, it's probably acceptance. Like she was looking for acceptance, and she found it in that culture. And as far as I know, I haven't talked to her in 3 years. She's
feeling better. I don't know what you're eating.
I'm in goldfish, but I be so bad. I'm so sorry, guys.
You're good. You're good.
I'm sorry if I
coming up, Mike here.
I'm sorry, Mike.
No, but that's we were just kind of talking about the differences in upbringing. I find you guys' story and the people that you become to be something that I find very inspiring.
Would you have told
because, well, my dad, I mean, he had reasons to not be a nice dad. His parents didn't care what he did or whatever. Not quite as like difficult as what you guys grew up with.
But how did it feel when your dad would punch you? No, I'm just kidding.
I grew to love it.
What happened when your dad smoked next to you? He smoked a joint next to you.
Well, it's crazy. My dad didn't even smoke cigarettes. Like there was nothing.
No, your dad's awesome.
My dad he brought me and my brother up with the idea that there's no excuse for like failure.
Not failure, but
and it wasn't like this, like, you guys owe me something. It was just this like thing, like your children are your reason and your job is to do for them what they need. It's not about you.
I'm raising my hand.
But I look at,
lying.
Two guys like you.
Question right now.
You guys had reasons to not be the greatest guys.
Oh yeah. We had our reasons to like just kind of follow in the footsteps of what we were growing up around, right?
Which would be hard not to, I would think, if you don't.
Did you grow up thinking like, I don't want to be like this?
Oh, see, and that's
how I threw up. Like
I don't think I realized until I got into like a normal situation. Like I had to go back and live with there's a couple of times I went back and had to live with my mom. Like we lived in the homeless shelter for a little while.
I've been there. Yeah, homeless shelter.
We lived in the homeless shelter.
So I went to Job Corps.
Yeah. So like those things, and like I would always try to escape them.
Yeah.
Like, but that's
Yeah.
For me, I use it as an excuse with my kids, my students even. Like I'm very open. Like I tell my students, like, this is what my mother's like. This is the choice I made. But I try to tell them, like, the only thing I don't tell my kids is, like, I dropped out of high school. I'm like, I don't want them to be like, hey, Mr. Vickery dropped out of high school.
Yeah, I can do it too. I can do it too.
But I always, I try to tell them, for my kids, my students, like, there's no excuse.
I try to do that with, like my stepkids and stuff, and just, you know, my kids in general. Same reason. Like, yeah, I didn't drop out of high school, but like at the same time, it wasn't like, dude, I fucking went to high school and it was easy. Like when I say graduate high school, it's like I barely graduate. The only reason I graduated high school is because the girl I dated was in drama, and the teacher that was the drama teacher she taught English. She taught AP English, right? Yeah. She taught advanced English, and I took drama, and so she was like, I will give you a class outside of class time.
Mm-hmm. See, I got lucky.
That's why I graduated.
Mine was my health and PE teacher.
Yeah.
But her husband was also my counselor. So I'm sure like they had like so many conversations, like Mike just needs
a little push.
He's just feeding her a little bit of information.
I'm sure they probably had conversations.
I'm sure.
And I would not have graduated high school if it wasn't for Mrs. Carpenter. Like
that's how I felt. Like when I found out, like when the teacher told me, like, dude, you passed these, because I had to take this independent study is what they called it. Mm-hmm. And when I found out I passed, like I was like, oh. And so when it came to time, she was one of the teachers we had to shake hands. So when you grab your fake diploma,
yeah.
Like when I say I almost cried, like I almost fucking broke down and cried. No one in that audience would have known. The only person that would have known the reason I was going to cry is because my ex-girlfriend knew where I was going. My mom didn't know. Like, I never told my mom shit. Like, I didn't feel comfortable telling my mom anything. Like, she didn't give a fuck. Like my mom wouldn't give a fuck. I love my mom to death, but, like, if I'm going to be honest, my mom would have gave two shits. Like, well, okay, well, can you watch the kids tomorrow? Because I got to go to work.
Yeah,
that's how it came across, you know, like, okay, you didn't graduate, whatever. Anyway, hey, so since you're a fucking loser and you didn't graduate high school, can you watch the kids? Yeah. You know, like that's how it came across to me.
So for me, my mom, I remember like I was 15 or 16. I was getting ready to go get emancipated to become my own adult. Mm-hmm. And like, I remember like the thing she was like, I don't know, welfare check or something. Like she was going to lose like her welfare check money because
like you were more money than a person.
I was like more money than a person,
and that fucking feels like shit.
Yeah,
that's why she was upset with you. Is like lose the money.
But once like I don't know, it was a child services person, and then the family that I was moving in with, she also worked in child services, and so they figured it out. Like once she got the money part figured out, she was willing to. Let him go be his own adult. Like it didn't matter to me. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. I mean, I don't know all the background conversations, but I remember like that was fine. And then the family, they took my rights. And
psychologically, that like sucks to feel that way. You know, like damn, my mom just gave up on me. Like, I'm gonna just check to this lady. That's how I always used to look at shit. Like, I'm just a check to my wife, not my wife. I'm just a check to my wife.
No.
That's what my wife thinks about me and my sweet teacher salary.
I'm just a check.
That's why you and I became teachers. We never wanted to feel used for
like
money.
My wife, my like mom and stuff. Like I was just
sugar daddy.
I'm just a fucking check. I'm just like this piece of shit. Like that's how I always looked at shit. Like I'm just like. And so for me, when I would always say I'm a piece of shit, it wasn't like because I felt that way, obviously, because I felt like obviously that way. But also at the same time, is I didn't have that reinforcement like, no, you ain't a piece of shit. Really, like I would have that reinforcement like, nah, motherfucker, you is a piece of shit. You know? Yeah. So it's like.
Well, and then probably the same thing for me. I grew up, there was always a wall.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It was very hard to get into the wall for me to even talk to people.
Oh, I never talked to anybody.
I'm 33, and my circle of people that I'll actually talk to, it probably consists of 3, maybe 4 people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like,
for sure. Tom, that's my person. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My wife.
She's getting there.
She's getting there. But no, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Your circle is very... Here's your circle. Here's your feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up thinking the way I felt was stupid and like that's not how I should feel. And so I would just always just like anytime I start feeling that way, I would kind of push it like Blanche, you're getting that. You're getting that shit.
That's only because you told us you had a crush on her.
Yeah, I love Blanche. So I got a gold girl shirt, and I always loved Blanche. I had this thing. I think that's why I got a thing for old ladies.
I always loved Darth Vader.
Gilfs.
That's why I got that.
Gilfs.
I love Dwight from The Office.
I have a thing for Gilfs.
We got crushes on random people.
He loves Darth and
I do. Darth Vader.
We would thought Princess Leia, but whatever.
Yeah,
it's about the power. It's a power play.
I have actually think for like that cabinetry like in the background. That looks fucking legit.
It is pretty nice. I think they're in front of like fucking computer components or something.
Maybe.
Okay, so I've only seen like the original 3.
Yeah,
I've never seen.
Okay, we're gonna end this because he hasn't seen shit.
No, I'm with you.
I've only seen like the original 3, like never any of the new ones.
No, I think you're okay with that.
Yeah.
I
really wanted to see them.
The original 3, or I already seen the newer ones,
3,
the later 3s. I haven't seen those. I'd be like, but also get the fuck out of here.
Like I remember, like
get the fuck out.
My uncle left. Like I was telling my uncle went into the Navy. He had Star Wars sheets. Like he went and saw them all, and then those are left for me. And I was like, Star Wars, this big thing. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Not that excited.
You know what I am?
Not that excited. Like,
dude.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
big Star Wars. Like,
yeah. No. Yeah. So
they're all right.
I grew up around Star Wars. I grew up around Star Trek. Right?
Yeah.
I gotta say, I love Star Trek.
Yeah,
I love the Star Trek series. Right?
Never watched.
So if there's a show, so if you don't like either, or if you just want to laugh, I highly recommend a movie called Fanboys.
Oh, you told me about Fanboys.
If you haven't watched that movie, I recommend that movie because it's about these group of like fans who are super into Star Wars, right? One of the friends is dying, right? So they want to watch the newest Star Wars that's coming out at that time. Episode 1 or whatever it is. Yeah. It is fucking hilarious because not only are they trying to go and see this newest Star Wars, right? They come across like Star Trek fans. Trekkies.
That's a big thing.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed in this movie. It is so funny. If you don't give a fuck about Star Wars or Star Trek, this movie still is so funny.
It's just because you'll understand. Nerds fight.
Oh, dude, it is. It is great. Like, because you'll see them just like
the Great Comic-Con Showdown.
Yeah,
no, bro.
Is it kind of like what was that movie?
It's really like that. It's really like a Comic-Con Showdown.
What was the movie where the guy?
It's so funny.
Paul Rudd and somebody else. Oh crap! Who was it? You know what I'm talking about?
Role models.
Is it kind of like role models? Yes. Is it like that?
Sean Michael
Scott?
Yeah. Scott Michael Williams or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Is it like that movie where like they do the LARPing and stuff? And
kind of, but it's funny because what's funny about it is like these are friends. They've been friends for years, right? Since grade school, we'll say. And they kind of split apart. And one of the friends, something's going on, so they want to go see the newest Star Wars, right? We're gonna see episode 1. Let's go. Which to a lot of people's standards now, it's a shitty ass fucking Star Wars, right? So they want to go do this. And so they go on this fucking trip and they kind of like rekindle their friendship. Mm-hmm. This is how they rekindle the friendship, right? Because at this point in their life, before they're like, no, we gotta go there. They were friends in grade school, middle school, but then after that they kind of like split off. And so like now they're like, no, we got to do this for Jeremiah, whatever, you know? So they're doing their Star Trek journey, which is, it's fucking funny. It's so hilarious. and they run into Trekkies. And when they run into Trekkies, it's like a gang fight. It's the funniest fucking shit in the world. Like, this movie is brilliantly done. Fanboys. I'm telling you.
The movie recommendation for the week.
All right.
Dude,
Fanboys.
You will watch this movie and you will come back to me and you will go, thank you.
I'm going to find
this movie is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if you care. If you like Star Trek or Star Wars, it doesn't fucking matter. You will find this hilarious because of the fact that these are nerds fighting over those, right? That just off that alone, it's fucking funny. But the banter that you find and you come across, it's just fucking. It's such a good. It's such a well done movie. It is so good. My wife, who hates both those fucking franchises, my wife doesn't give a fuck about that shit. I made her watch both those. I made her watch that movie.
Yeah,
Fanboys. I don't think I could pay my wife to watch a Star Wars.
No. I forced my wife to watch Fanboys. So Fanboys isn't like you're watching like this Star Wars. They're out in space. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah,
it's just like us three. We're going on this journey because fucking the other guy over here isn't able to make it because he's dying.
Thank you for not saying Tom. I was afraid I was going to
it's like us three. We're going on this journey for a friend of ours who's for whatever reason can't make it.
I gotcha.
So I get my wife to watch it, and she's just like, at first she's like, whatever, fuck this movie. But then she starts watching it, and she's just like, she's stuck. She's so stuck on it. And then when she finishes, she's like, oh my God, that movie's so fucking funny. She loves that movie, and she hates Star Wars. She hates Star Trek. She hates those franchises. My wife hates those. Even now, she doesn't give us a fuck about them.
Yeah.
When she seen that movie, she thought it was the funniest shit in the world. So watch it. Like, you will not be. I will pay you both.
Will not be disappointed.
No, you won't. It's fucking a brilliant movie.
I'm gonna have to find it,
dude. It's called Fanboys. It's great. I want to say I watched it on like Amazon or Hulu or one of those two.
I have both, so great.
I'll
find it.
What streaming service do I not have?
Yeah, right.
Like the kids that act in it are really good actors. You'll see them and you'll be like, oh, I've seen him in whatever movie, or I've seen whatever.
Yeah.
You'll see him and you're like, oh, I recognize these motherfuckers. Yeah. I recognize these little motherfuckers. That's John Jones. I know that motherfucker. I know him. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I had to pee so bad.
No, it's all good.
So I left.
Thank God we had 3 people this time.
I am glad. That's the only reason I peed. Yeah. I had to go so bad.
One week I got way too drunk. We ended up cutting this out because I just threw these down.
Well, we were done. No. So the thing was, we were done, and then Tom's like, I gotta go pee.
Yeah, we were done. We were done.
Yeah,
I'm a true professional, so we were done by then.
I get it. You gotta pee. Like, we're done.
He goes, "Where are you going?"
Yeah, so we ended that one early.
Oh man!
So no one ever saw that one.
That's okay.
But no, I appreciate that you came on here.
No, yeah, thanks for listening. And being
I know it's kind of been random, this conversation.
No.
But I also think like the experiences you went through really helps probably other people who will listen to this, because I don't know.
Yeah,
like I've been there where it's just like you feel like you're at the end of your rope or the road, and I'm not like contemplating suicide, obviously. I'm just saying at the end of the day, you're just like, fuck, man, I don't have anywhere else to go. I can't talk to anybody. I'm just gonna feel this way always, and at the end of the day, I think what Mike's getting at, what I'm getting at, what Tom's getting at is like, you got people you can talk to.
There's always a person.
There's someone there you can speak to.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be there to support you.
Like, I've met Mike. This is the second time I've really personally met Mike. But if he ever needed to just like fucking blurt out how he felt, like, I'm never going to tell right? I'm not going to. Like, and I don't mean this for the cameras or whatever the fuck we got here. Like, if you ever just needed to talk to someone, like, I'm gonna be there for you. Like, I'm gonna, let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, even
fuck yeah, like, bro, like, let's talk about it. I want to help people, and so that's what we're getting at.
And I would just say that is true because, like, I remember, like, I was starting, like, right when I started listening to the podcast, I sent something like, because you guys have done the middle school thing, and I was starting to stress about my daughter going to middle school next year. And I sent you, and you sent me some advice, and I think you said something like
most of the time, anybody who's responding is probably
because
me.
you're the only person that's actually responded to us.
So anybody who's responding back is not against Tom. It's probably me.
But I mean, I mean, it's not just blowing smoke. You really I reached out, had a question, and you.
I want to help.
Yeah, so anybody out there that wants to, we will probably get back to you
eventually. But like in the day, like we all have our issues we deal with. We all have some kind of mental block, mental struggle. I don't know what it is. Something which we've taught. Like I don't know how many times we could talk about this, but. Something I've dealt with for myself, Tom's dealt with, Mike now. We've all dealt with something like mentally, and at the end of the day, like we found someone who we can talk to, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of what it is. It's like at the end of the day, you need someone who you can talk to. You might feel like shit, and you might feel like, oh, I can't do that because I'm a loser, but like. Who gives a fuck? Who cares if you feel like that way?
We're all a bunch of losers. Who cares?
Well, no. At the end of the day, what's going to make you feel better about you? Right? Yeah. Like, is it going to make you feel better to go talk to your buddy about, like, hey, man, I kind of been feeling pretty low lately. Like, that's going to feel good. It might not feel good at that moment because you feel like you're kind of being vulnerable. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Fuck. Hey, man. You're my homie. We've talked and you've said we're homies. I'm feeling pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Like I would feel weird if I would come to you or you and said, "Hey man, I'm feeling low," and you'd be like, "Yeah, that's cool.
All right,
get the fuck out of here."
Just I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
I'm feeling low. Boo! Look at you, little pussy. Like it'd make me feel like shit. Like it would make me feel like okay, I can't talk to you guys. But like for us, like, please talk to us. Like, at the end of the day, like we're here to help you.
And I would say the big thing is you don't have to feel like you have to spill your guts because I'm still not a spill your guts person, like in the moment. But
no, dude, exactly.
Our coworker Sheila, she would tell me, she'd be like, "You're going to and I would just say, I would just acknowledge, So just acknowledging it. That you feel that way, even if you don't want to say, like, "Hey, this is what's going on. This is going on." Just acknowledging it. Like,
I think that's an amazing point you just brought up. Is like you don't have to spill your guts.
Mm-hmm.
If you just gave us that like little look, hey, I kind of like feeling like kind of stupid about this or whatever. Okay, let's.
It's really about what you need just to feel better,
dude. Like I would be more happy to help someone and not tell them about the podcast or. Like I want to help some people, like, because I don't like you, like we've been through some shit, and I think we're able to help people through that shit.
Well, obviously the world's full of a lot of pain right now.
It is.
Everyone thinks things are great right now. Like they're not. So there's a lot of people that need to get something off their chest. Yeah. So yeah,
there is.
Yeah.
I got the Golden Girls shirt, just in case you guys are all wondering. I know everyone's wondering. Yeah. I got the Golden Girls shirt.
Not for sale on their website yet.
Goodwill special today.
That's pretty awesome.
It is awesome.
It's a nice looking shirt.
It matches my fucking Flamingo shirts.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I got it. And I thought it fucking would fit. I was like, dude, I'm wearing it. I don't give a fuck if it's pink. I love the fucking Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Blanche. Who out there wanted to fucking bang Blanche? Raise your hands.
In the comments below.
Notice Mike and I didn't raise our hands. But that's okay.
They don't count. Anybody else besides these two little young bros?
Golden girl, you want to bang.
They wanted fucking Sophia, the oldest.
Yeah, that like and subscribe.
So I wanted her. I wanted this icon. I wanted her. They wanted the old lady over here.
Look at that jawline. She's gorgeous.
She's good. Never got
pops
tired.
Those teeth out, man.
Oh, you ever get a blowjob with a girl with no teeth?
Yeah, she sounds funny, but
No, serious. That's a serious question.
I'm not.
I'm just kidding.
No,
I have.
Honest
But
answer.
anyway, I have.
Get your bird.
I digress.
I digress. I have.
Oh man.
I have.
Now I don't know if you're
I'm
joking.
like, I started thinking back.
It's like,
Wait,
wow,
wait,
hold
wait.
on. Technically.
Wait.
Which golden girl was it, Jesse?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I ever. Yeah, I have.
What was the gal in the middle? Maud? Is that what her name? Maud?
This one?
Yeah.
Maud. I don't know.
What the fuck is her name? Maud.
Yeah,
I think
bitch.
Right?
Like I would have.
Non-derogatory.
It would have been her. I would have done her over her.
He's got him ranked.
1,
1, 2, 3.
Jesse's having a golden girl orgy over here.
Just go through them all.
What'd you
Did they
call
turn you
this
down?
chick?
Start hitting on the
Hey.
next one.
What'd you call this one?
But Maud. I thought.
Maud.
Right?
What do you call her? Maud.
I don't know. My
Like
grandma
she's-
watched the show. I didn't watch the
I got it on
show.
my phone. I swear to God.
Maud.
Somebody's named Maud. M-A-U-D, right?
No, Maud.
That sounds right. That
I
sounds,
think, yeah,
that sounds
Mike and I
familiar,
both
at
think
least.
that's right. I think that's right.
Maud.
What kind of Golden Girls fan are you?
Yeah, what
The
level?
best.
Have you watched every episode?
Probably.
Could you
Just
quote some lines?
No, I couldn't quote lines. No, I couldn't quote lines, but like
Actually,
no, my
I
mom-
do
mom
want to
was
start
into-
watching the show now. I
Dude,
do.
No, I did. I remember as a kid, I was just like, dude, for whatever reason, the thing was like her, Blanche. I don't know what it was. I just thought she was so hot as an old chick.
That's a
And so I
hot
think that's-
ass gal right there.
And I think that's where my like fuck, I would fuck an old bitch when I was younger. Like as I got older, I fucking old ass bitch.
His
that
real
thing is
type
sort
is Blanche.
It was because of Blanche.
She's
Thanks,
like a
Blanche.
Southern Belle, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
So now the question is, how many people are going to be Googling the Golden Girls?
I know.
The 7 listeners we have.
Yeah, if you
at
guys
least-
find out
Golden
that-
Girls is going to go to the top of the
Seriously,
Google charts.
if you
From our
find out that her
podcast.
name's Maud too, give me some credit.
Dude, I don't got no phone.
You're all laughing at me. It's not Maud.
The Golden Girl.
I swear to God, it's Maud.
That sounds so
It sounds
familiar.
right, doesn't it?
Hey Google, who are the Golden Girls?
Come on, Google.
Oh damn it! It's doing people I'm in my alliance with.
Oh,
I have an alliance. I'm a nerd. Hey Google,
We've established that earlier.
Google.
Google's talking
Fuck,
back.
fuck you, Google.
Interference.
I'm gonna fuck you up, bitch. Golden Girls.
Dorothy, Rose, Blanche, and Sophia.
Well,
You-
shit. Maud's not one of them.
Maud-
Not even
Maud.
close.
Maybe you should just said Ma.
Was there a character in some show named Maud? Was there? There wasn't like an old lady somewhere named Maud, right? That had a TV show.
No.
Yeah, I swear to God, there was. I swear to Maud, there was.
What did you say? Rose, Dorothy, Sophia, Blanche, and who?
None.
Miles or Stanley?
Miles Davis.
Let's see.
Regular on that
Dorothy,
show.
Rose, Blanche, and Sophia.
Okay, and Sophia
So-
was the old one. Rose is America's
Rose,
sweetheart.
Sophia was Dorothy's mom.
Okay,
So this she was like Dorothy. That had to be Dorothy.
so she was Dorothy's.
Betty White was Rose.
yes.
Rose was.
And we
Dorothy.
all know Blanche.
Blanche-
Jesse's made sure we know Blanche.
Yes.
She had fat tits.
Okay, so
Blanche had the fattest tits, bro. She was hot.
I'm gonna take your word
Bro,
for it.
bro. Through a garden hose.
Oh man,
Jeez.
she what?
God.
Oh my God.
She's sucking through the garden. Blanche. I don't care who you are. If you know Blanche, subscribe. Blanche
thought
was
her nose
the
in
shit,
there.
bro.
Another movie reference.
Blanche would fucking blow
Oh,
that
man.
shit out, bro. So Blanche, Rose. Who was the other?
Dorothy and Sophia,
Sophia
right?
was the mom.
Okay.
Dorothy.
So
was this old
Sophia
ass bitch.
was Dorothy's mom?
Yes.
So these are like all like the girls
Dorothy-
that are in her house?
Bro, Dorothy was like 6'7".
I thought so.
She was LeBron
She was a
James.
big gal.
She was LeBron James.
And she was
bro.
being like, yeah, like if all of them, she was like, I'm serious. Like, you're not funny.
Dorothy
right?
fucked around with chicks. I'm not joking.
For real?
Yeah,
In the show?
No, I don't know.
I think one of them was
A lesbian in the
was a
show?
lesbian.
She was les.
What a forward
Bro, this was a
looking
les.
show.
She was an LGBT. She had the Q plus.
It was LGBTQ before that was a thing.
Yeah, these two. She was a bisexual.
She just like
I don't know.
She's just like
I
fucking,
said,
bro.
Like I said,
Blanche,
I was not
like
a Golden
fucking,
Girls
bro.
fanatic. Like, we're gonna get Jesse in a fan club. The
I
Golden
know.
Girls fan
I know.
club.
Blanche.
President of a fan club over here.
Hey, Blanche, like just the fuck, bro. I don't know.
Rose was always funny.
But
Rose just like was fucking. She was like Tony Soprano, bro.
Betty White's hilarious. So that
She's
makes
funny.
Yeah,
But,
Betty White's better,
I
right?
do think she was lesbian, but I
Yeah.
don't think they like outwardly.
It wasn't like it was like
bisexual.
into that.
It was like reference.
Oh, was she
like,
bisexual?
Interesting.
I don't.
I
I'm gonna
don't know
have to
enough
Google.
about
I'm
the
gonna
show.
Google.
Jesse's gonna go back and rewatch all the
I'm gonna
episodes.
start
I'm
watching
gonna be
the shows.
stroking. 10:35. I'm stroking that
Hey.
shit. It's 10:07, bro. 30.
You're gonna take your shirt off and put Blanche up.
Hey,
Hey, Blanche.
rock, paper, scissors.
Don't stop, Blanche. Don't stop.
Don't take them teeth out, bitch. I got you, girl.
Oh my god.
I
Wow.
know.
Oh, man.
That's yeah. Wow.
I don't know.
I gotta watch Golden Girls. I didn't know it was so hot.
Mike, I'm glad you came.
Jesse,
Thank you for being here, Mike.
it was great.
Hopefully it's not the
Hey.
last time.
You'll come again, though.
I'll come anytime you want.
Awesome.
Hey, that's
You
what my
just
wife
let us
said.
know when you want to be. It was a lie, but
She lied, but whatever. Whatever. No, but I'm glad I came.
me too.
I'm glad
Me
I
too.
got to meet you,
No, it's been fun.
Yeah.
dude.
Thanks for
you're
being
you're
here.
a good guy.
We'll have to go back out the river. Not
Try
die.
not
Mike's
to
a good
die,
guy.
yeah.
Like, kind of the shit we've talked about. Like, in a serious note, to end this way.
Blanche is the hottest.
Not only is Blanche
Go
honest,
ahead,
but
go
like mentally, health wise, it's okay to like just if you feel like you need to reach out to someone, it's okay to do that. Don't feel like you need to keep it in. If you have a friend out there that you really feel comfortable with, just like just talking to, like talk to them and throw it out there, like. If they're gonna be a fucking asshole, like, no, I don't want to hear that. Then you know what?
They're probably not
friends.
really that great of a friend. To begin
Yeah,
with.
fuck them. But
And
if
if you can't reach out to them, you can
Hey,
always reach out to
like,
us.
no joke. If you can't reach out to me or Tom or Mike, like, fuck, if you can't reach out to someone.
No.
But if you have issues, reach out to any of us. Like, I can 100% guarantee you that we'll be there to talk to you about whatever you need to go through. Because at the end of the day, I think we've all kind of gone through some shit.
Mhm.
Right.
You're not alone. Yeah.
And even if you I would say we don't know the answers, we can at least try to point you in the right direction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Somebody can help.
100%.
Yeah.
Like we've all had our issues where it's like we're not going to know the answers like Mike said, but we can point you there.
Mhm.
We can help you get to that point. If it seems, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Oh my God, you guys have been here and it's been 5 minutes and you're stuck in the corner. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, I'm here. Like, I want to help someone. At the end of the day, if it makes me look like an idiot, but I help them, I'm okay with that.
There you go.
Just like you guys, I feel like they're the same way.
Oh yeah.
If you guys all of a sudden at the end of the day, it seems like you feel like an idiot, but like you help someone.
Hey, we're teachers. That's all life.
I look like an idiot all the time.
I feel
It's
like
fine.
an idiot, but hopefully I help somebody by the end of the day.
but what are you waiting for
What am I waiting for?
to help someone?
Nothing. I'm trying to do it every day, brother.
What you would rather help someone than like fuck
hell
someone's
yeah.
life up, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
No.
Yeah. I
Right?
would rather help than fuck somebody's life up. Yeah.
Exactly.
Big time.
But you're not waiting to fuck someone's life up.
No.
If this whole
I'm doing it
situation,
right now.
I want to fuck his life up. That's not what's happening. Anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway, guys.
What do you think?
I appreciate. Hey, this was version 2.0.
Season finale.
Season finale.
This was
Yeah.
season.
The end of number 2.
Yeah.
It is. End of number 2.
It was supposed to be last week.
It was supposed to be last week.
Let's just not talk about last week.
Mike was supposed to be this week.
Yeah.
There wasn't last.
I don't recall.
I don't know.
Well, anyway,
Blanche wasn't here. That was
that's what it was. We were actually supposed to have like a season finale type shit. Our shit didn't happen right.
Yeah. Actually, I do hear that they have.
And I don't. I'm glad fucking Mike was here though.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm sorry. I didn't
Oh, that's okay.
I'm sorry, Tom.
My jokes.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I fucked Mike. I fucked him up.
I was like, where's this conversation going?
No, but Tom was going to say a joke.
Oh,
and
it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I was going to say the fireworks for the end of season 2 are going to be planned for July 4th. So,
I don't believe in July 4th, so I don't know what he's talking about. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway.
But no, hey, you know what? This was actually supposed to be our 41st. It's going to come across as our 40th episode.
So there we go.
Mike will be on our episodes. I think he's going to be on a couple of episodes.
Well, thank you. Anytime
you
want to
better.
Whenever you want me.
You feel free.
We want him soon.
There you go.
Our buddy Bucket, his son wants to be on our podcast next week.
Sweet. He's a good kid.
He's a good kid.
Good.
We need to get Dalton back on. Dalton, if you like talking about
how old do you think Kate
paranormal.
is? 22, maybe 21.
Oh, probably.
He's a young kid, bro.
Yeah.
But he loves our podcast. He's a good kid.
He's a good kid.
He
His
is.
dad's a badass.
Dude, his dad, bro, that's our guy, huh? Bucket?
Yes. Good old West. Good old Bucket. Actually, it's his property that we were out turkey hunting at. Yes.
Hunting, yeah.
We did walk around with guns. We just didn't shoot them or get anything or hear anything.
So this guy used to live across the street from us, and we would call him Bucket, right? That was his nickname. We called him. And when I asked him, how did you get that nickname? He told us. He said, hey, your son looked at me, and I told him my name's Wes, and my son, this is my son, and this is a true story I'm telling you right now. My son looked at him and goes, nah, you're Bucket. He said, what do you mean? Like, nah, I'm gonna call you Bucket. Oh, okay. And so from then on, my son had called this guy Bucket, right?
He goes by it to this day.
To this day.
Call him Bucket. That's how cool this guy is.
This guy is a very good person.
Yeah.
Super, just like I can't explain how good of a guy this guy is. Like he's a good guy. I'm not like just talking him up about the way we're talking, right? Like he's just in general just a good guy. Like he'll give you the shirt off his back kind of type guy. But my son told him, nah, you're Bucket. And I'm like, what? And then when we spoke to Bucket, we're like, yeah, how do you know my son? Well, he told me my name's this. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, to your son, he told me, nah. I told him what I did, and he goes, nah, you're Bucket. So what Bucket does for a living is excavation work. It works.
Literally moves a big bucket.
He does. That's what he does. I swear to God.
Yeah. It works.
They just got to his coworkers and just get it all.
Yeah.
No, Bucket. Dude, Bucket is the perfect name, but also he's just like.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's a bucket full of love, I tell you.
He is. He is. His son wants to be on our podcast next week.
Awesome.
There you go.
So no, I appreciate you being on here, Mike.
And thank you for listening every week.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I really, if you get the chance, just throw it out there to other people.
Oh, Mike does every week. Every week.
I love that he does.
No, I don't. I'm honestly, I am terrible at sharing
no.
anything.
When you can,
I need to be better to support my friends.
Yeah, you're all good.
Hey, the fact that you listen to us is amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like we love that.
Well,
but I mean, if you can, just share it with people. If you can't, you can't. You whatever. At the end of the day, I think.
No pressure, Mike. No pressure.
No, seriously though.
I'm on this, so I got better be right.
No, at the end of the day, I am happy that you're listening.
Yeah.
If you don't share with anybody, like you're listening.
Just thanks
I'm,
for that
I'm
support.
happy you're supporting us, and I really
and
I 100% appreciate that. And I'm not wanting you to think I'm being an ass when I say that. Like, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, I really appreciate the fact that you're listening to us. Like, that's awesome,
weekly,
bro.
That's good.
How awesome is that?
And you guys are doing good things. Like,
Thank you.
it's helping me out. So I'm
just very happy to hear
glad you're on
that. That's what we hope. We will definitely be having you back.
Yeah,
you're a great guy to talk to, fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
We almost died together, camaraderie. Yeah.
Hey!
So
my drunk ass, I'm fucking buzzing.
We can't tell. We can't tell.
Nobody can tell.
Right? My shoes all falling off. My fucking headphones off. What the fuck just happened?
All right. What do you think?
I think
we're good.
I think we're good. I really appreciate Mike for coming out, supporting us.
Thank you once again, Mike.
Is it Mike? It's Mike.
Yeah, it's
Matt.
Matt. It's Matt.
Is it Matt?
No, it's Mike. It's
Oh
Mike.
man, don't fucking throw me off.
I know. I should.
Like, wait a minute.
It's
I
Mike.
swear to God, it's Mike.
It is. It's Mike.
Earlier it was Matt, though.
It was Matt at the beginning, but now
Change my name during the podcast.
I'm gonna throw something. Fuck it, whatever. His name's Bartholomew.
From Bartholomew and Matt.
Bartholomew. He's been fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been a good time.
Xavier's been fucking killing it. Anyway.
Oh man.
No, but seriously, thank you for coming on the show. Like, I really appreciate it. I think we need him on there.
Oh, definitely.
For sure.
You will be back.
I want to hear more of your story.
Yeah.
I think
And thank you for being open and sharing.
No,
I do. I think it's awesome. Like, I feel like I'm pretty like open when I share my stories.
Yeah.
Tom's kind of like, no, my
I just
dad.
don't have as many interesting stories.
No, yeah, you're like, my dad was the Pope, and
My dad's awesome.
Well, no, as long as you know your story can help somebody else. I think.
so my dad was the Pope.
That's the hope.
He owns fucking the wherever the Pope lives. That's where my dad
the
is.
Vatican.
The Vatican.
My dad's the new Pope in the Vatican. Very big scandal that I'm here.
My dad owns the Vatican, man. Whatever.
My dad didn't believe in abortions.
Right.
Anyway, that ends it.
But anyway, at the end of the day, like, I'm glad you came on the show.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. I don't know. I think we're good. I really appreciate. What's his name?
Matt.
Bartholomew for being on here. Mark. Thank you, Mark. I'm just kidding. He's like, wait. I said Matt. Yeah. We know, Messiah. We know. No, anyway. No, I'm glad you were on here.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your like insights and like your the views you had and everything. Like I really do think that helps. We might joke a lot about, oh goddamn, Mark or Matt or whatever.
It's Xavier.
Huh?
It's Xavier.
Xavier, whatever. Xavier. I like that one actually. Xavier McDaniels, right here. He played for the Sonics. But at the end of the day, like, no, I think it's awesome that we're able to joke like that, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think it's awesome to share those experiences and just kind of figure out who we are and just, I don't know, help each other out.
Encourage positive growth.
That's it. That's it. That's all I want. For me, anyway, at the end of the day, I want positive growth for all of us. You know, we've all had our fucking issues. At the end of the day, just let's be positive for each other, be there for each other.
Yep.
You know,
life is good.
Life is life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Anyways, thanks. What was his name? Steven. Thanks, Steven, for being on our show.
It's Messiah. Messiah. I like Messiah better.
Thanks, Matt.
Messiah.
I love you guys, man.
All right.
You're a good guy. Anyway, have a good day.
All right.
See you.
We're at this motherfucker with Messiah.